My husband was Bruce Schulz, and Bruce was a Tallahassee cop, which is where I met him. We were both Tallahassee cops together, and then he went with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He was in a position, foreign counterintelligence, where he couldn't discuss anything he was going through. So a lot of that stuff he just had to bottle up inside himself because he wasn't permitted to discuss it. We lived in an undercover house, and so there were cameras and microphones all around. Nobody could know where you lived. Nobody could come over. You couldn't have your mail come to the house. Your family wasn't allowed to know where you were, and you couldn't discuss any of the work that you did with other agents or friends or family or anyone. And so it all had to be bottled up and kept inside. And there was no way to be able to get release from it. My husband, like many cops, was a very social guy. He was very, very outgoing. The last 3 or 4 weeks of his life, I saw things beginning to change, and I just couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I knew things weren't right. And I would try to talk with him about it, but he couldn't talk about his work. He couldn't talk about anything he did. And then I noticed I couldn't get him to go outside. I couldn't even get him to walk outside. It's too cold. I can't go out. I won't go out. He quit sleeping. He would just toss and turn all night, and his legs would move back and forth. It was like he just couldn't stand being inside his own skin. And I would wake up throughout the night and he'd be pacing and rubbing and wringing his hands, and I just can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't do it. And I say, Bruce, what is it? What is it? And he couldn't talk about it. He couldn't talk about it. And then on the morning of March 8th, I woke up at about 5:30 or 6 in the morning because he wasn't there, and he was pacing and pacing and pacing and pacing. And I said, Bruce, just let me call you in sick. Please, just let me call you in sick. And he said, I can't stay sick forever. I have to go. I have to go. And he said, hurry up and get ready. I don't want to be late. And I said, I'll hurry. And I went in to brush my teeth, and I heard the shot ring out. And I came running out, and there he was in his boxer shorts. He couldn't even get dressed. He wasn't even able to get dressed. And he was dead. As cops, we choose whether it's a deputy, a trooper, a police officer, an agent with a federal or a state agency. We choose to be victimized. We choose to put ourselves in harm's way. We run into the fight, not away from the fight. We run into the Twin Towers, not away from the Twin Towers. That's what law enforcement does, but there's a price to pay for that. And that price is this cumulative stress that just builds and builds and builds. And if we don't have a positive way out, then for some officers and agents, they just can't handle it anymore. There's such a stigma in law enforcement attached to reaching out for help, and you're seen as being weak. Somebody said to me, I never thought of Bruce as being a coward. Well, he's as far from being a coward as you could possibly get. But when this major depression takes over, you're not able to think logically. You're not able to rationalize correctly. You just want the pain to stop. And I feel as a wife, if I could have helped him, if only I had known how to get help for him. I didn't even know what I was seeing. I thought, he'll get over this. He'll get over it. He always gets over things. And I had no idea that this would be the thing that he couldn't get over. I wish you knew what a great man my husband was. I wish you had the opportunity for him to be one of your friends, because he would always help his buddies in any way that he possibly could. He was truly a great man. He was a good officer. He was a good agent, a great husband, a great dad to my 2 boys that became his 2 boys. And he was a good son and brother, but most of all, he truly, truly cared about his country and his community, and he was a great man.